The final Super Smash Bros. Direct is in the books. The game is a month away, and the roster is revealed. What do we think of this ultimate 40-minute show? Today, Gabe and I are here to give you our review. It was a big show, and it was really bookended, I feel, by the big news. The middle wasn't really that exciting to me. We started off with 2 new character trailers, and we ended with potentially a humongous secret. The middle, the structure of the thing was a bit odd to me.
Yeah, they could have tightened it up. They could have made this a 30-minute direct, maybe a 25-minute direct, and still had a ton of really cool information here. But Sakurai likes to get into the weeds, and he talks about the help menu and I don't know why he enjoys doing that or why he feels that that's necessary, especially given the fact that we've already had 2 other presentations that were kind of focused on Smash, but that's something they felt like they needed to do.
Yeah, and it is good for extreme detail and giving hardcore fans the utmost information. I did like that they spent a quality amount of time on the online and sort of discussing how that would work, some more of the local multiplayer options. But let's start with what they began with, saying hey, we've shown off a lot of fighters. Today you'll hear about every fighter. Boom, here they are. So they give you Ken and they give you Incineroar, 2 fighting fighters right back to back, and then boom, within the first couple minutes of the direct, they say hey, that's the full roster. I thought that was a really weird move, and if I was planning any sort of final Smash Bros. Video presentation, that's absolutely not how I would have structured things, but it did at least start with a bang.
Yeah, and then that kind of opened things up for the Piranha reveal to be way more cool than it would have been. Let's say they hadn't said hey, that's it for the roster, even though it is it for the roster because everything else is coming afterwards. I think that kind of set it up, because I think after that people said, okay, in their minds, no more character reveals whatsoever. So then when it came time to see the Piranha reveal, I feel like that strengthened that a little bit. So I have to imagine that's why they did that.
Yeah, it really was a weird, just the way that they word things is, you have to be so careful. I feel normally Nintendo is very hey, they want to be very informative, and you look at Reggie or whoever's speaking, Sakurai, and you say oh yes, but with Smash, it's always so you just never know for sure. And I think Piranha Plant, if you want to touch on that right now, weirdest character reveal ever, one that I don't know that anyone could have predicted. I mean, they have been minion crazy with Super Mario Party incorporating Goomba and Shy Guy and Koopa Troopa and all that as playable characters there. So maybe we should have seen this coming, and they did have sort of the minion mode over on the 3DS Mario and Luigi side of things. But I was shocked to see a walking pipe.
Yeah, out of all the characters that were rumored and quote-unquote leaked, now all those leaks are fake, but this was never something I think any of us expected. And that says something, that they can still surprise us and they can still, make us confused by things. Because
well, I don't think this was mentioned ever.
Yeah,
I mean, I could be crazy, but I love the fact that they were able to get one in there that nobody could have really predicted. And honestly, he looks cool. There was some interesting mentions on Twitter of how it kind of brings things full circle, because his final Smash is PD Piranha, who factored heavily into the last, or into Subspace Emissary, as one of the first bosses there, and that is really neat how it's kind of tying that together, and now this is a playable character. It's interesting to me that PD Piranha isn't the playable character, that it is straight Piranha Plant, but I'm really excited for his supposed February release. You get him if you get the game now, pre-order the game, and I'm assuming he'll be a paid character later.
Yeah, it's possible, but I mean, they said it's a limited time thing. I mean, maybe not.
Right. Well, Ken and Incineroar are coming into the retail package. Honestly, neither of them do a whole lot for me. I really did think Incineroar was going to be in the game, and people who predicted a Pokemon were right on the money. His fire belt glows, and he has a lot of very, like I said, fighting-based moves. I like his rope throw move, where he throws you against the ropes. That one's pretty cool. But I don't foresee either of these characters really being main choices for me, and I didn't think that their cutscenes were able to rival some of the past reveals that we have witnessed.
I'll agree with you on the second part. The cutscenes don't really compare to some of the cool stuff we've seen, especially that King K. Rool announcement. But I can see myself maining Incineroar. Like, I saw some of the Treehouse stuff, and just seeing his moveset, he's like a grappling type character. He's like a wrestler. I don't know. His belt's like a little ugly. I wish he didn't have it, like the Fire Flame belt. But I don't know. I kind of like him. I also like Ken. I do like Street Fighter. So I could see myself using these two characters. I enjoy them. I'm bummed that it was only 2 new characters. I know we both expected at least a couple of more. It didn't end up happening.
Right.
That was a bummer.
Well, I think the Direct started off with a bang in the sense of, hey, new information, but really a bummer for fan reaction. I was following along on some of the chat feeds, and you had Ken and Incineroar be revealed as the final fighters, which completely discredited the 7 new rumor that had so many fan favorites. And then they go right into Spirits mode, and it's not the story mode that everyone supposed it would be. In fact, it's this weird mode where you're collecting these characters in the form of stat boosts and stat modifications. They all have different art. They're from a whole lot of different franchises, and they really are trying to flesh out like an entire universe of Smash Bros., which is cool. But it's not. I don't know. It was nothing like I expected.
Yes, if they didn't. Well, I mean, we're gonna get into how they close a little bit later. But if that hadn't come, and Spirits mode was like the only like new thing that they revealed, and it wasn't a single player mode, and it was just collecting these like little art things with some stat boosts, I would have been very, very sad. But
oh, indeed,
yeah, like I was starting to feel like sadness like overcome me, because okay, we only got 2 new characters as I'm watching, and then like, oh, the Spirits mode isn't what we thought it was. We thought it was gonna be like this Subspace Emissary sequel. That wasn't the case. I was like, okay, what are they even gonna talk about for like the next 20 minutes? It was not. It was not a good time.
Well, we talked in detail about Spirits mode, so you can check out that video if you want to hear like our full thoughts and much more information on how that all works and the nuances that they discussed. But I think the reason that they did front load this is because they basically had future information or future content in the character realm and in the single player / mode realm, as you mentioned at the end when they unveiled DLC and World of Light. Those 2 things really saved the show for me, because I don't know how much time we need to spend in the middle. It really did feel like a lot of just really specific minutia. You know, we're going through the help menu, we're going through, you know, how you can see the tip screens, we're going through the little dog tags that you can acquire, we're going through how ranking works. You know, I do like to see new assist trophies. Isaac being a part of that, I feel like that was kind of a like, it could have been super cool if we didn't think he was potentially playable, but again, that was a moment that was kind of like deflating.
Yeah, but see, but so much of this is our expectations. It's our own fault. Like, yeah, like there was an Isaac tease, but we make that stuff up on our head. Like, and our expectations just get so high, so it's only natural that when, you know, what actually happens doesn't meet them, we do feel a little deflated. Around like halfway through the Direct, I was feeling it. I was like, man, like this is not what I expected.
This is not the final presentation, that we planned for. It seemed like it was gonna just kind of really sour, and you know, there wasn't like, ooh, there's a demo coming. They did say, hey, like in North America, they're bringing the game to a bunch of events if you want to go do that. They detailed just exactly how, you know, like acquiring new music tracks worked, and they went through more of the interface, and we got to see online. I really do think the battle arenas that you can create, I'll pull those out as something that I did think was super neat. How you can have people spectate, how you can have people in line, how you can have different conditions. Those were really cool. I like the little tokens that you drop in there. It reminded me a lot of ARMS and how the lobbies work there.
Yeah, that was something I really wanted implemented, because the party like section of ARMS, where you're just there like getting more and more currency as you win battles, and you can get on a hot streak. Like, that was such a cool way to do things, and I'm glad that it wasn't fully implemented, but it's very, very similar.
Right, and they did go through just really any little detail I think that people wanted to know. They got it there. I also liked how they will try to match your rule preferences and your like mode match preferences with other players in matchmaking. They are allowing you to locally bring a second player online for co-op. That was really cool. They highlighted, just again, every detail you could really imagine, including things about the way that Spirits mode challenges will sort of take shape as a comic book within the game. I thought that was kind of cool, and it's very different from World of Light, which is a full-on map. We also saw how the online, they are recommending a LAN wired connection and their LAN adapter, which I thought was just a really not good move considering they just started charging for online, and so they should be expressing complete confidence in online, not saying like, hey, we hope you go wired for this game.
Yeah, I found that to be a little odd. Like, what does that do? Like, does anybody actually go buy this because Sakurai said it? Like, does anybody...
No, it's just a weird look for Nintendo, who already is viewed as behind the eight ball when it comes to, you know, bold online 2018 type technology.
Yeah, so now you got to go purchase this, what, 20, 25...
Well, you don't have to.
Yeah,
but
well, yeah.
That's the recommendation.
Yeah, well, Sakurai's saying if you want the best Smash experience, yeah, go do it.
Right, which I guess is true of any game. You know, wired connections are better. I just thought it was weird. They also discussed Smash World, which is the app that they're creating for the game. It won't be available until 2019, but it's going to allow you to post gameplay videos, watch other people's gameplay videos. I thought that was kind of cool, especially if it has a cool interface like it looks on the little mock-up, and maybe that's just a fun way to share like your cool moments.
Zach,
they introduced the phone as like a really important tool for this game because, you know, you do have the Nintendo Switch Online app, and I don't know, like that whole segment was a little strange.
I hope I don't get in trouble for saying this, but there is a Smash World beta right now on your phone right now. It's just called YouTube. You can share videos on there. You can watch videos on there.
Yeah, I mean, it is cool that it's getting a dedicated app again for the hardcore, and maybe they'll have some different, like, I don't know, just even like stat screens and ranking lists and things to help you just kind of keep track. They are allowing you to specifically handicap certain characters if you want to make sure that nobody ever plays a specific guy. You can make them really weak. I like that idea a lot. If you have a character you hate,
King K. Rool, we got to make him as weak as possible so you never use him.
Yeah, no, I think I'm going to take Isabelle all the way down to the lowest. They did bring in some Switch stuff in the form of Mii costumes. So we are getting like a Xenoblade Chronicles 2 costume. We're getting a Ribbon Girl costume. Springman is in as an assist trophy, which is nice. Splatoon 2 characters are like in as the Mii costumes. That again, just like, okay, you are bringing in a lot of characters, maybe not the way people want, but between Spirits Mode, the Mii costumes, and the assist trophies, they do have a heck of a lot in there.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess that's like a fun way. Sakurai said something like really weird when he was talking about Rex in particular. He says like, hey, we had already like planned out by the time the game released, so like apparently they just couldn't budge once they made plans. So maybe that's why like some of these characters like Ribbon Girl or you know, Springman ends up being an assist trophy. Maybe that's why they can't be like full on characters, Zach, because they had already made their plans.
Yeah. Plans were clearly made way in advance, but they don't have the plans for DLC, which is where we'll move now. This is where things started to really ramp up, and I got pretty pumped because they said 5 DLC characters are coming, $6 for a pack of a character, a level, and music tracks, or $25 for the Fighter's Pass. These will be released across a year span of time, so one every couple of months, and they probably won't kick off for a bit, but once they get going, that's going to be really cool to have 5 from the ground up fighters. And we know based on Piranha Plant, they could get very creative.
God, it's scary to like wonder how creative they could get, because if Piranha Plant was some indication of what's coming, like, yeah, then at this point we can't even guess because there's just so many like obscure like little characters. Or maybe this is where we see some, you know, big fan demands finally come into effect. Could a Waluigi close out the 5? That's instantly what I started wondering.
Gino still has hope. Banjo-Kazooie might still make an appearance. That rumor of a third-party character reveal at the Game Awards tied to some sort of winner might pan out. I am curious most of all with that how third-party they go, since that was such a huge force of the Smash 4 DLC with Ryu, with Cloud, with Bayonetta. How much do they lean on their partnerships versus their first party? We'll have to wait and see. But they did drop the really big bite of Piranha Plant as sort of the first DLC character, but not paid. They do say, it's a limited time offer, but it's pretty easy to get. It's not something that's going to, like, I think, really mess with anyone. And he's expected around February. He has a very cool amiibo, a very cool moveset, it looks like. And honestly, one of the characters I'm most excited for, so that will be something I eagerly anticipate and will help us work through winter as we wait for games like Fire Emblem and Yoshi. So bringing in that DLC, a huge moment. And then continuing the positive vibes, they unveil Adventure Mode World of Light, which Sakurai didn't want to completely unveil. He just gave you the beginning cutscene, which was incredible, and then unveiled this board game style map where you're moving around, a lot of different events happening on that map. This is where boss characters will be implemented. This is where you will find most of your single player content, and it looks really cool. I love that they're keeping much of it behind closed doors and saving something sacred for when you unwrap the game for yourself December 7th.
Yeah, I know this is going to be the very first thing I'm going to want to do in Smash. I'm glad that so much of it is going to be kept behind a aura of mystery, so good on Sakurai for doing that. Yeah, to me, this direct was going to be a ton of single player stuff because I thought that's what Spirits mode was. I thought they were going to get really in depth there. And they kind of flipped on its head, and we had this World of Light thing instead, but it still holds true. The single player stuff is the focus for me, and that no doubt was the coolest thing in the direct.
Yes, so kind of tying things together now, we have what I felt was a bit of a rough start, a really head scratcher of a middle, and then they significantly ramp up towards the end. So it was a bit of an emotional roller coaster. New characters are always cool. Kennen and Cinema are getting added. Great. Spirits mode, what's going on? What is this? All of these options and details, but some cool features that we mentioned with sort of the tokens and the battle arenas, the two-player online, the different just elements that they did introduce, the new assist trophies, the Mii costumes, but it was sort of like up, down, and then, oh god, okay, this actually is getting super cool. Did it do enough for you? Did it leave you feeling satisfied?
I think it did enough just because of the World of Light thing looking so cool. For me, that did a lot. And Center War, for me, looks cooler than he does for you. So I would give this a solid B, honestly. Mm-hmm. If I had to give it a letter grade, a B. Maybe a B minus, just because so much of that middle was so packed with things that yes, it's cool to get that in depth, but I mean so much that we could just figure out on our own when we get the game.
Right, there were definitely nice nuggets to pull out of there, but I don't think that we needed all of that. Again, 40 minutes just felt like it was definitely padded at this point. I know that they wanted to kind of go out with a bang, but yeah, it probably would have been a far stronger presentation at about 25 minutes. I will say though that I leave feeling really good about the game, really excited. World of Light looks super cool. I don't know how many cutscenes they're saying it's not Subspace Emissary 2. But even if there's some stuff there and then boss battles, that would be really cool. That board looks beautiful. And I am incredibly excited for Piranha Plant, for DLC. They have laid the groundwork to say, hey, this game is a big package at the beginning. It's going to get even better as we go, and keep looking forward to Smash being a part of Directs and a part of the hype cycle for at least a year, right? They really set things up so we're going to get more and more Smash. And I think that, to me, just has me pumped, and who they can bring in. They don't ever seem to close the door, right? They kind of just leave your heartstrings open to either be played or to be rewarded. But I loved how they wrap things up, and I go into the next month waiting for the game really excited. So honestly, Gabe, I'm going to give it an A minus. I think that yes, there was a lot of down to the nitty-gritty detail, but Piranha Plant is crazy. The DLC package is strong, and Incineroar Ken, not my favorites, but hey, 2 more characters, and the modes, the package, the amount of variety there, this is a $60 mega value.
Yeah, the value of this game can't even be questioned. It's the biggest Smash ever by more, I was gonna say by a mile, but more than a mile, by 100 miles.
Yeah,
I don't know that we'll ever get a package this big again. They're gonna have to do some insane stuff for the next Smash Brothers. So yeah, I'm so excited.
I will say that if they had not unveiled World of Light or the DLC, this would have been a D presentation for me.
Yeah,
but
they did.
Last 10 minutes was so strong. Yeah, they did. So that's why I just want to clarify. That's why it really ramps up. That did so much to sort of save this show. I do want to point out Sakurai's blinking, where he indicated that he wanted a break. It's. I do worry about him. We hear the stuff about Rockstar and Red Dead and their extended hours. I hope Sakurai gets a nap. I hope that wasn't a secret save me, I need some sleep. So hopefully he gets some rest. They still have the DLC characters to work on apparently as they ramp towards the end of the year. But all in all, I can't wait for this game.
Yeah, I think everybody's feeling that way now. World of Light is doing a lot of favors for the game, especially because people expected so many more characters because of leaks and rumors and stuff like that. So being let down by that, but then pleasantly surprised by World of Light, I think it works out.
Absolutely. So, what was your favorite moment and your overall review? Let us know in the comments down below. For me, the highlight was Piranha Plant. The low light was Spirits Mode, but as we mentioned, saved. I know, Gabe, for you, that highlight was the World of Light. Did you have a least favorite before we finish?
Yeah, never tell me about a help menu.
Yeah, I mean, hey, if you need help to get to the help menu, probably need more help than that help menu can provide. But we're here to help you with all sorts of Switch coverage and Smash coverage, so make sure to subscribe. We will keep you up to date. You can follow us on Twitter and Discord for even more info and fun. We got those links in the description below. And until next time, everybody, for myself and Gabe, thanks so much for watching. Hope you're having a fantastic final Smash Direct day. And until next time, Switch Force, out.